when someone does a Sicilian, this is kind of basic stuff, but you know, when you do E4 and then they do C5, generally you want to play D4 to kind of open up the center. That's considered the most like theoretical thing to do for the most part. Okay, so then takes, and then we have here attacking the pawn, knight C3, defending the pawn A6. And so since you're stopping the knights from journeying to this square, as well as the bishop too, the queen can now come to like C7. Alrighty, so then after here we're going to go bishop to E2, getting ready to castle. Here, bishop G5, knight comes out this way, controlling the center, pawn E6, and then we go here. Alright, and now black makes the move queen to C4. Was this move good, bad, or okay? It was indeed a bad move. You guys are right. And why is that the case? And I'm definitely not checking to see what the answer is with the engine on my other computer screen. Wink, wink. So I'm going to try to figure this out myself. It has a question mark in the book. Queen hanging, defending E6. If queen takes knight, knight takes bishop. Let's see here. Oh, you're saying here? And then if here, knight takes bishop? So let's see here. If you go there, oh, responding to an earlier comment. Oh, okay, I got you. All right, so okay, so no one has it just yet. All we know is this is a bad move. Why is this a bad move, and what should white do about it? And this is pretty difficult. It's a big jump up. So if you get this one, I'm impressed. We're just kind of skipping a warm up question. So generally I like to ask an easier one first, but this is sort of two parts because it was, is this move good? And then I said, you know, why is it bad and everything? Let's break it down a little bit. So it is a bad move. What should white do about it? The answer to that question is actually pretty tough. Queen d3 is suggested. This looks reasonable. You know, I mean, you know, if takes and then takes back, then, you know, you kind of control the center a bit better. Not the move selected in the game, but a perfectly reasonable suggestion. As it turns out, there is only one move that is just absolutely devastating here for white now. So it's basically like a puzzle. One move is 4.5 for white. The second best move would be bishop to e2, which is 0.2. Like I said, this is not easy. You got no warm up. Let's see if you can figure it out. Bring back the bishop to hit the queen. Yep, this is the second best move, which is 0.2 for white. A common mistake a lot of teachers will make is that they ask a question, they don't give students enough time to try to solve it. So I don't do that. I want to give you guys enough time. Knight takes e6, interesting, and then let's say queen takes. F4 is not the top move. Let's see here. Why would that be the case? If you go there, then you just drop a piece. Boy, speaking of warm-ups, I'm not warmed up. Yeah, kapow, pow. Whoops. We have 22 people in attendance. Not a single soul has found the right move. Would you guys like a hint, or would you like to keep plowing through and see if you can get it? This is the first move. Then here. Now what? So credit to Dave and Lucas, who suggested this move, but then didn't have a follow up. So let's see if someone can find the follow up. Yeah, knight d5. Yep. And after this move, knight d5, nice job. Black went on to parry the threat with king to d8, and then after this, now what do we do? I love asking people questions. Probably my favorite part of teaching chess. So I'm loading up lots of questions for you guys. These are very tactical positions, so it's handy because there's usually lots of opportunities for like really clear cut, best answers. No, not this one. Bonk. Queen d4 controls the center, that's kind of neat. But we gave up like a whole knight here, so we need to have something really staunchy for this to work. Bishop to g4. This is it. You go right here. This is going to be the best move. The second best move, just for context, would be rook to e1 when you're at the value of 2 points. If instead you go pawn to e5, then they can simply just take right back. And then this is not looking so great for you. Okay, so then here after bishop to g4, yep, then now they are going to go queen to e5, and then we do f4, which someone said earlier. So just same idea, but different kind of move order, different timing, which can make all of the difference. Okay, after this, then we go right here, and then takes, and after right here, then we have this move, bishop takes, and then we go this way. And then black found himself in a hopeless position. But wait a second. We have some lingering questions here, don't we? Hold on a second. So first off, are we clear that this is a winning position now? Are we convinced? He resigned here. I think we should be right because he's got discovered attack lined up right here. And if he were to take this way, then we go takes, and then we're going to be able to get the rook. And so he's toast. He's done. But hold the phone. Wait a second here. Wasn't there, going back to this moment right here, wasn't there a chance to kind of slow down this maybe like in a different way? Why exactly was this so devastating? Was king to d8 really necessary? Well, how about this? What if he had gone knight takes d5? What exactly was the plan here anyway? What do you think? Pawn takes, yep. Queen f5. You're not going to pin my queen against my king? Ha! My queen's already left that file. Oh, whoops. You lose bishop, though. And with it, the game. So that would be devastating. All right, that is it for that game. Very nice job. Moving on to game number 2 here. Another game by Paul Curies. And again, this is an attack against the castled king. What do you guys think? Do we like that example? Is that cool? Any questions about this one before we move on? Nice, yep. Any like observations or things that you learned? This was an interesting moment right here, right? No one got this without a hint. So that's kind of interesting. So it was hard for players to see that maybe this was going to be that hard to stop. Kind of looked like this was going to be, not just not much of a problem. They were going to be able to prevent it easily. So that was sort of an interesting observation I had there. So look out for those ideas. Try to create some problems for your opponent. That's how you win some chess games. All right, here we go. Another game by Curious, also one with the Sicilian. So I'm going to go through the opening kind of fast here. Sometimes it's kind of nice to just have a lot of movement on the board and just kind of give you a general idea of the opening without diving into it too much, so we can go to the main theme here. All right, so we go like this, and then we're attacking the queen. It's going to go on over this way and deliver a little check there. Okay, so then pawn c3, and white's still looking a little bit better. Oh, we got a question here. Why not knight e5 instead of bishop to e7? All right, cool, I love it. Love having questions. Let's go back. So over here, you said right there. Hey, good question. Wait a second. You are right. Hold on, that is interesting. We'll probably pawn f4, right? Hey, good question. I like that. Okay. So if right here, hold the phone. Great question. So yeah, you do have to go pawn f4. But this is a much better defense, by the way, because king d8 actually did get a question mark. This was a question mark move here. And the translator here pointed out that going for takes here would have put up a better defense, and so you're absolutely right. You can come back in games like these. Even if your opponent has a really nice little sacrifice like this, you can certainly come on back. And then h6, good questions. This is how you really learn stuff. You think critically. I like it. I welcome being challenged on this. Okay, so pawn h6, and now the fine and dandy. I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse here, but see, this is a great question because now how do you refute this, right? Pawn g4, only move, and so now the queen's going to be kicked away. So we'll say queen to d7, and then you got this pin, and you're going to be able to win the knight. And then after here, you lose the bishop. What's the move here? Free pawn, maybe? What do you think? Here, then fork? No way. No way. If you go here, they take with the queen. No fork for you. If you take this way with check, they go here. And black's actually winning that. Oh, large means in effect. Okay, whatever. Pawn e6. Yes, you got it. Very good. Very good. All right. Very nice. Very nice. So after you go right here, again, this is actually still possible for black to come back, and it's really common for players to kind of give up too easily, basically, especially if you want to get to master or above. What I observe is that a lot of players just resign too easily in this kind of position because they just think, all right, I'm toast, But it's having that fighting spirit to look for chances to come back and put up a good fight that can really get you to like the next level and everything. And as we can see in that final position right here, white is actually only up by 1.6 pawns. Their pride may be hurt, but their chances to come back and win or at least draw have not really been extinguished. So it's good to have that fighting spirit. Let's move on to the next one. All right. Did I answer your question? Again, it was a great question. Jacob. If you have more, let me know. The time is 5:20. We have 30 more minutes to look at some more games before this 5+5 arena, and we got to get some players signed up for this thing. Please go ahead and do so. I think you have to join my my Elite Chess Club thing here, but it's great to have a chance to practice what you learn and compete and everything. And otherwise it kind of goes in one ear and out the other. So it's good to have a chance to compete. Want to sell this up a bit more too. I do 5+5, not just 10 plus. It's in the flyer thing. So it's like this guy right here. So if I go share, I'll just do the Google Drive version of it too. So then what do we do? View, just view only. Yep. Copy link. Here we go. All right. Here's the link right there. I put the PDF earlier, but anyway, I want to sell this one up a bit. It's 5+5, not just 10 plus 0, because that's going to give you more of a chance to actually practice your endgame skills. You know, you're going to see those longer games. And so it's not just going to be like a time scramble at the end necessarily. Okie dokie, artichoke. Let's go ahead and keep on looking at this game. Like I said, this is another game by Curies. He's playing against Winter in 1935. Whew, quite a while ago. After C takes, we're now going to go with this move over here. We go like this. And then sacrifice the pawn, it looks like. Again, kind of skimming over this part. Want to get to the, I know, I mean, it's kind of exciting. We just gave up a couple of pawns here, but just want to get to the part where there's some annotations. After here, dx e5, knight takes, bishop to d6. Now what do you do? King's in the center. Our king's safe. Everything's developed, but we're down by 16 pawns, give or take a couple. So what can you do? Rook d1, cannibalism. Wouldn't recommend it. Rook e1 is a move, and knight takes f7 is a move. All right, so I'm going to throw a curveball at you. Both of them are good moves. Which one is better? One of them is 8.4, and the other one is 3.3. Queen to h5 also suggested. You know, that could be plausible. I mean, like you put a lot of pressure on the king and all that. Like if you go here and then they castle, woohoo, checkmate. However, what you gonna do about this move, right? Gonna be in some trouble there. So you have knight takes f7 or rook to e1. Which one is better? And you can pin the bishop. Yep. And so in a way, okay, let's take a look at it. Like I said, I love questions. So if you go right here, especially when I can answer them with my engine on the other screen here. I mean, you didn't hear that. I just have all this stuff off the top of my head. So black is up by the value of 2 points here. But this would be actually good to take a look at, since it's also in some ways similar to the thing we saw a second ago, right? There was like a knight on e5, and we used pawn f4. So before that idea worked, why does it not work now? What's the difference? So we're going to go back to the knight to f7 thing in a second. But I like exploring, you know, rabbit holes and stuff. So what's the difference? How come, you know, last game here, this worked so well, but now this time around, it doesn't? Queen c5 is one of the moves, yep. So you can go here. So in this case here, our king is weak. All right, let's contrast that to the other line we saw, right, where it was pawn to f4. We played it here, right? Radically different than this situation, right? Because in this one, our king was not weak at all like that. And we still had a huge lead in development, and there was no chance for like the queen to develop any sort of counterplay, right? Whereas in this situation, you know, the queen's you know, already attacking our king. Okay, but so what? We just move over the king. How come this is so good for black? They're up by a rook. H6 was suggested. Well, if you go here, I mean, there's a pin, so not necessarily like a real threat. But this is still going to be sufficient after here takes, and then you could simply just go bishop to e6. And the king is pretty rock solid. There's not a whole lot they can really do to crash through there or anything. So for that reason here, we don't want to go with that kind of a move. What we're instead going to do is the fine and dandy knight takes f7. All right, what's the plan here? King takes. Now queen to h5. Yep. Very nice. Yep. So kind of similar thing. We talked about that in the last one, right? Someone said f4. And this time around, somebody said queen h5. You know, move order can really make a big difference. Lure the king out. Exactly. So after right here, then bishop takes g6. And then we're going to go like this. Okay, there takes, and then now we can just take the rook, I believe, right? Yeah, we just take the rook. So hold on a second though. What about if instead of g6, how about they go king to f8? What was the plan there? Yeah, now rook e1. Yep, very good. Yep, now you go right here, and you're threatening checkmate, right? Okay, but bishop d7. The stakes are pretty high. Remember, we gave up a knight for this. Bishop e7. Not getting through that way. Bishop f5. Okay, so kind of trying to do like a deflection right here. Yeah. So this actually, as it turns out, would be even. Well, it changed his mind. It says that this wins too. Okay, nice. First, it was saying this could actually probably save the day, but then there's a really nice move here that makes it work. After here, you could do this move here. So it goes to show White's attack is so strong, there is more than one way to have success in that regard. So bishop f5 trying to lure away the defender. Another neat little thing that could also work there. So let's see here. We have bishop f5, queen to f3 was suggested. Did someone say rook e3? Let's see here. I don't think someone did, but I was curious about this one. Oh, okay, yeah. This mates by force and 11. I saw all that, so that's pretty obvious. The book says queen to f3 would have been the top move right here, and so after this, let's see here. Hold on, is that a typo? It's a bit of a typo because actually it's not necessarily the top move, but wins all the same. After this here, let's see. We'll just give the line that the book gives. I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but if it was thematic enough for the author to put down, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just give the variation. So here takes, rook takes e7, etc. Okay, I dig it. I like it. So then he says, or if on move 14 they were to go here, king to e6, then you could do this move, queen. Yeah, no engines in 1935. Yeah. So right here, bishop to f5 check, king takes, and now this. Kapow. Ooh, cool. All right, going back then, like so. Bishop comes up this way. We go takes right here, check. Pawn takes, and then queen takes. All right. What is the material count right now? Let's see who's going to be first to get it. I don't actually know it myself, so I got to think about it too. I'm looking for an answer such as -2 or 1. Looking for a single-digit answer. I got to count this myself. Who's going to be first to figure it out? Whew, this is confusing. Okay. 4 pawns, 5 pawns, for a -1 there. Okay, you guys are faster than me. You had a head start because I was articulating the question. Hold on, let me double check. So we're -1 on pawns. These guys cancel. These guys cancel. So do the queens. And then, okay, then we're -1 here. So -2 total. I like it. Yep. You guys are exactly right. So we're still down on points. We got the king on the run, but, we can still lose this in the end game. So, we got to make sure we keep up the pressure here. After bishop to f5, what do you do next? All right. Well, I think the move is pretty intuitive, so we'll just go here. Why not bring in the rook? It's not really doing anything. Maybe not quite as intuitive because you might be alarmed by this, but you're like threatening mate and everything. So after rook to f1, then they go here. Okay. Now what do you do? Queen to f6 is a good move. You actually have more than one good move here. Someone say rook takes b2. I would just quit. I would just stop playing. Kidding. Totally kidding. No. Um, so so there's actually more than one move that you can do here. Queen to f6 is one of the moves. Yep. So you can go here. This will also work. In the game here, we went with this move. Rook takes e4, and so after this, then d takes, and now right here, which works as well. After this, then they're gonna go. They just resign actually. If they go here, you have mate in 2, because you just have this move, and then they can't go this way. Queen covers all these squares. Whenever you have the queen that's 2 squares away, you cover all these, but you miss these squares, and like an imaginary square up in the right over here and over this spot too. And so then if they go here, then you have checkmate this way, and if they block the bishop, you have checkmate here. If they go back to g8 though, how do you do checkmate? Well, you take like this, and do you guys want to see the finish? Are you convinced? We'll just go through it real fast. Here, and then you could go here takes, and it's mate in 8. Here, queen to e6 check. Here, and then you can go more than one answer here. Plenty of ways to finish this out. And then here check looks good. King up this way. You got to keep him in check because I think you're still at least close on points. What are we up by 1? I think any really strong player would probably resign at the same point this player did. But good to see a finish, especially if you're kind of newer to chess. Here, bishop to f6, threatening. Well, not threatening this because the queen is defending it horizontally, right? So after queen to f5. Okay. Now what do you do? Do people actually and leave this one for maybe a player who's a bit newer? So if you're more advanced, hold your tongue for a second. So like if you're at I don't know, like 1400 or less, feel free to answer this one. And there's more than one good answer. Question was, do people actually calculate mate in 8s or intuition that it's a mate soon? Definitely the latter. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of situational. I mean, if it's the kind of thing where you have to give up a lot of material, and if it backfires and you're going to lose, then you need to be able to see that you at least have some sort of way to consolidate to where you're going to be up by, say, a rook. And then if there happens to be a mate in 5 moves or something as you get closer to that, then you can kind of change your plan. But in order to commit to the plan, if you do this, it's actually only a slight advantage now for white because they just take like this. Queen to f7. I believe this is one of the possible answers. Let me check. Queen to f7. Yeah, this will also work. Okay, and then queen to g6. Rook b5. Bonus points, by the way, if you were saying rook to b5 on the move a second ago. Here, queen comes back, and then mate. So actually, there's a really fanciful mate here, too. On this turn, you can go here. And then you thwart the queen. Now, wait a second. Don't they just take right here? Now g4. Huh? Pretty cool. All right. We got one more game, possibly 2, to take a look at. All right. What do you guys think? Like that last one? What was one thing that stood out to you? One observation? One kind of like cool move that you liked? Also give you guys the link to this study here. So we'll go like this. So let's see here. We have a study PGN. Yeah, here. Like that. You can follow along. You can take a look at it later. To challenge yourself, I would definitely recommend you don't look at the moves, but it's a great little PGN thing, and you can leverage that at your leisure. Okay, here we go. All right, let me make one observation myself then. What was something we learned out of this? One thing is that this attack was so strong that it was just commonplace on a lot of turns for there to be more than one winning move. So to kind of always enjoy the material evaluation, yeah, good skill, nice. So one question that was asked earlier is, do you need to calculate to see that mate in 8? And as evidenced by several moments in this game right here, Kyrgios didn't always necessarily play the right move, but he was able to see something that was sufficient enough to justify these big sacrifices like these. And then, although he didn't maybe do the absolute best continuation, it was still winning. And at the end of the day, if it's 2.5 and you still win, that's practically the same thing as mate in 8. So, you can't always be perfectly accurate. You just need to have it be sufficient to justify a sacrifice. That's the maybe interesting observation I got for that one. Okay, let's keep it going. So we have following game right over here. And did we get some more signups for this tournament here? Neat. We got 8 total. Make sure to sign up for that if you have a chance. And it's 2 hours. You can just play a few games if you like and then dip out. There's no obligation to play the whole thing. Let's go ahead and see this next one here. Okay, so this is supposed to be Reddy and Wolf. So let's check out this one. Okay, Black wins this one. Let's see how they do it here. This is a Queen's Gambit declined. D4, D5, C4, E6, Knight C3, Knight F6. Any Queen's Gambit players? Or Queen's Gambit decline players? I love playing the Queen's Gambit myself. Declined, yep. Nice, yep. It's really been interesting how many people have picked up the London over the years. The first time that I saw the London, I'm kind of doing some light small talk for a second because those have been a couple of intense games. But we're gonna look at one more. But it's been interesting how many people started playing the London. It's been popularized by a few different YouTubers and everything. And I tell you, boy, 10 years ago, no one used to play this. If you played D4, you're either going to do the Queen's Gambit or you were going to do maybe like the Collie or the Cole system. You guys that just started playing chess recently, this kind of stuff looks really, really strange to you. But people used to play this a lot. They would go here. This used to be more common than bishop out to F4. Looking at that now, it's kind of silly sounding because you would go, well, yeah, why don't you just want to have the bishop out? And the general consensus was, well, if you do that, then the queen comes out here and attacks it. And then since then, a few players have been like, no, London's what's up. You got to do the London, But, so C4 is just the other main move you can do with D4. There's not a whole lot of other things. I mean, you can kind of do like the Catalan, but generally if you're playing D4, you got to either do pawn C4 or bishop out to F4. No one really plays the Collie system anymore. Here's another one though, right? There's like this move here. What's this called? This probably gets played 1/100th of the time that the London does nowadays. Trompowsky. That sounds familiar. I thought, wait, isn't Trompowsky this move right now? Because I think this is the Tory. I think if you do this, it's the Tory. All right. So good little context for us there. Let's keep it moving here. Pawn to C4, we go with the decline variation. After this right here, knight to F6. And so all those openings are perfectly sound. And so if you're interested in trying out some different ones, go ahead and give those a go. The Queen's Gambit, I would say you probably want to be at least 1300 to really try this one out. The Queen's Gambit decline, though, I would say, no matter what your skill level is, this is a good sound approach. Okay. Let's keep it going. Bishop here to G5. After this, now we're going to go bishop to E7, E3, castles, knight F3. And again, Black wins this. This is played in 1922. Same theme of attack against the uncastled king. Here, rook comes over. We go pawn to A6, queen C2, and then pawn to C5. What was this move? Good question. Chess.com. Yeah, chess.com. Because if you're on Lichess, good question. If you're on Lichess, I'm glad I ventured off with that small talk tangent because I thought people would be interested in opening stuff. So the question is, if someone plays C4 stuff against you like this, or no, let's see here. The question was if you're going to play the Queen's Gambit, like what skill level you need to be, and I would say 1300 at chess.com. Or 1500 Lichess. And the reason for that, I'm very passionate about this. I'm a chess teacher. I work with a lot of students in that rating range. Is that if you play the Queen's Gambit prior to that, like if you're 900 rated, it's going to kind of warp your development of your skill set and kind of mess with your understanding of like how important tactics are and all that good stuff. All right, here's an advanced question for you. Pawn to C5. Was this move normal or slightly dubious? And if it's dubious, why so? Pawn c5 has been played. In this exact position? Maybe taking space. So it's a little bit bad, actually. A little bit bad. Keeps the position closed, better for knights. White's planning to massacre black's knights. I like it. So actually, the problem with this move is that you kind of relieve some tension on c5. And so in the openings database here, to give some numbers to it, the move a3 is played 25 times in this position, and then c5 is played five times. So 20% popularity among master level players or above in the lead chess database. So if they play that way, probably good reason to believe that that's going to be a little bit inferior. And indeed, that is the case, because after they move pawn to c5, you play pawn to e5. And then there's no chance to recoup the pawn here on d5, and you can afford actually for this to happen. Okay, neat, because we win a pawn, right? It's like, no, you can't win a pawn that way. You lose your knight, right? Okay, well then, what was the point of that? How come we can play the move pawn e5? What do you think? Black to move. We have 10 more minutes until tournament time. This is also the longest game, so I will be going at a quicker pace. Knight to g4, you got it. Yep. After this move, right on over here, we're going to be able to win this this pawn back. So let's keep it going. So after right here, it takes this way, and then we give up our queen. Psych, just kidding. Definitely going to grab this guy back first. Knight to a4, rook e8. In no rush to take it, because this pawn is sort of doomed. You know, it's getting dogpiled by all these different guys right now. And so here, bishop to d3, and then now we're going to take this pawn. Should we move the d knight, the one that's on the d file, or the one on the g file? Which one should go to e5? Let's see here. We got 3 votes for G, 1 vote for D, 2 votes for D. Ooh, even now. Worried about pawn h3. Okay, I like it. So you're saying if right here, kind of worried about the prospect of them just going like this. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, if you get kind of stuck and you have to retreat, then maybe this is not looking so good, you know, and then drop this guy, right? And then also another good question there. Well, why are we talking about taking this guy when we're about to lose h7? Good questions. This is how you learn stuff, thinking critically like that. All right. Well, let's do one step at a time here. So the answer is to take with the D knight. You do want to grab this away. And so after here, they play knight to b6, which is a bad move. Okay. Well, hold on. So what about here? And what about here? Let's look at it. I'm going to kind of cram through the rest of the game, because this will absorb probably the bulk of the time I have for this one. But they're good questions, so let's get into it. And it's opening stuff. People like opening stuff. Okay, first off, let's address this one. If you go here, this one's easier. Boom. You get rid of this whole problem here, because now after takes, then you go here, and you're looking good. Psych, just kidding. Even better is this move. This actually is still good. Black's looking good in this position. We don't even mind this capture here, because after this move, you are threatening to trap the bishop, and you also got this move on lock as well. So if they were to play something like, let's say, king e2, okay, so then you could go actually even better. You can go queen to h4, and then you're going to be attacking here. If they retreat this way, then you go takes, here takes, and then the sneaky queen, whoops, no, not here, travels on over this way to a4, kapow. So black's got some targets all over the place. White can't afford to be kind of dilly-dallying around with moves like h3 and takes right here. That much anyway. But wait a second. How about they do it right now? What about instead of h3 there, they just take right away? Black gives up the value of actually 4 pawns right now. They can go here, king to f8, and then after here, okay, well, what if they just run on back? How come this is so good? There are a whopping total of 3 moves that give black an advantage of over a rook. Have a go at it. Odds are good. There are 3 correct answers here. Black is up the value of a rook, at least. Knight takes f3 is indeed one of the answers. After right here and then takes back. Now what do you do? Knight takes e3 or knight takes f2. Wait. No, in this position you don't want to do this. Doesn't work now because it's here. But yep, you go right here. All right, so this kind of gets into the theme of the game. So let's go back to the game here. After right here, we are going to go with h6 first there. We could have taken the other way. After right here, then takes, knight comes into b6, and we go knight takes f2 right away. Okay, so after this, then we take here, and he's going to go to h7, check anyway. The critical continuation here would be king takes f2, knight to g4, pow, pow. After this, king to e1. And then we go queen takes e3 check, knight to e2, and then bishop here to f5. Okay, so after this move, what's the idea? How come we just gave up the bishop? Well, because we can go here. Check, king to d2, and then we go rook to e2, kapow, and we're going to win this queen, actually. Okay, so going back a few moves here then. After knight to e2, then we're looking good there, so we'll go back. And understand. Now we kind of understand why they didn't just necessarily take this guy right away, and instead went for this check. After check, we move the king over, and white says, "Bah humbug! I don't need to take your knight. I can just castle. What are you going to do now?" So now his knight's looking kind of silly. It tried to do a sacrifice and pull the king out, and the king was having none of it, and just slid on over here and castled. Huh. Now what do you do? In this position, there's really only one good move. What do you think it is? Pawn to g6 is incorrect. It's a relatively even position there, but if you do this, sure, you get the bishop, but you're going to lose this knight for it. So it's not that move. What else could it be? Bishop to h3. Well, there's some lively chess there. Unfortunately, this doesn't do too much because they can just take like this, right? This is one of those times where you just want to dial it on back. You don't want to do anything crazy. Sometimes you got to block before you punch. If you're a boxer that never blocks, you're not really going to win, right? You got to block sometimes. We're just going to play here. We're just going to move the knight back, defend it. It's over defended by this guy. You're attacking here. You don't always have to be spectacular, even when you got a spectacular attack. All right, knight takes a8. After this move here, we have lost a rook. So, I mean, I guess even as I say that, we did make this spectacular sacrifice of the rook. But the idea is the same. Sometimes you kind of block before you punch. After right here, then we're gonna go knight takes e3 and win back the exchange. And then we're going to take right here. And then the bishop retreats since we're about to grab it. And I'm going a little bit faster because we only got ABC. Always be checking. Yeah, right. After right here, knight takes h2. And then we're seeing knight to b6. All right, let's do the material count again. Who's gonna be first? You guys don't get a head start this time. I'm gonna count myself. What's the single digit value for what the material is right now? 4, 3, 7 plus 3 there. -2. Yes, I think I'm first. Anybody else get that too? We are currently down by 2 points. Right, so we have 7 pawns. They have 4, so we're down 3 there. 3 minor pieces. Am I totally wrong? Wait a second. They have 3 minor pieces. We have 3 minor pieces. We're up by 3 pawns. All right, I'm a terrible counter. Terrible counter. But wait a second. Aren't they winning this night or something? Okay. Well, at least I can teach chess. Did I count that wrong? We're up by 3 pawns. All right, so then is the game just over? Are they toast here no matter what? You know? In a way, kind of. I mean, the attack has been so effective that the rest is sort of a matter of technique. Because we're already up on points and we still have the attack. Hold on, when did it become that simple? So we gave up the rook right here, but then after taking right back, we got this one, and then they didn't get the chance to take back the knight. So we're actually already up a bunch of material. So now it's kind of a matter of just implementing our advantage and converting that into an actual win. I want to speed through the rest of it. I think the tournament has started okay, I still got a minute. All right, cool. Let's see the rest of it. After right here, we're just going to convert this into a solid win. Takes. But now it's a bit of a messy situation. The attack has died down a bit. You can't really take here on C1, of course, you know, because of this guy. So how do you convert it? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here, pick up the knight. Just kidding. They're going to go here, but now we pick up the rook. Just kidding. The bishop. Got to be flexible, right? That's important. It's a key life skill. Can't always get what you want. Sometimes you got to bend a little bit. So there, and then now we're going to see the knight kind of retreat this way to go into E6. We use the pawn. And after right here, we're going to get some additional pressure on the king that's going to force white to capitulate, looks like. It's just sort of an overwhelming advantage. To give you some sample moves here, it's saying knight to B5. What on earth? Why would he give up the knight? What is happening here? What am I missing? If king to G1, then we have this move. Down to here, this move comes up this way. Here check, here, and then takes, and you have this devastating attack. That's going to do it for lesson time today. Thank you guys so much for joining in for the last couple of minutes before I go here. I'm gonna stick around with you guys and play a couple games myself. What do you guys think? Did you have a good time? Learn lots of stuff? You are very welcome. Glad to hear. Always a delight. Really enjoy teaching you guys and everything. Yeah, absolutely. All right, and just for the YouTube, here I'm going to show all the comments here. Lots of positive feedback.